Hello, welcome to Rhino Productions. Woohoo! We have today a story about knowing the people you're dealing with. This here is an old dog. And, being an old dog, they still got to eat. So he's going around and he comes across a pile of bones. So what do you think this old dog does when he sees the bones? Well, he starts gnawing on them and having himself a good time. But being an old dog, he's paying attention real well. So it's a good thing he does, because what does he see but a young panther sneaking up on him? Well, that old dog's got himself quite a problem. He's sitting there thinking, I can't outrun that panther, and I sure can't outfight that panther. So what am I going to have to do? He keeps gnawing on those bones, and just keeps gnawing on them. And that panther's sneaking up on him and sneaking up on him. And that panther gets ready to jump. But before he does, the dog sits up and goes, this panther sure is good. I wish there was another one around here somewhere. Well, that freezes the panther in his tracks, because he don't like the sound of that. So he puts his tail between his legs and starts sneaking back into the forest. And then he sneaks back into the forest. That old dog is still paying attention. It's a good thing he does, because he sees that panther walk right underneath that squirrel. Now this squirrel's a troublemaker old squirrel. And that dog had had dealings before with that particular squirrel. So he was watching and paying attention to what they're talking about. And sure enough, man, that old squirrel yells down at that panther and says, hey, I got a lot of enemies. If you promise to protect me, I'll tell you how to get that dog. Well, the panther likes the sound of that. So he tells the squirrel, you got yourself a deal. Well, that squirrel tells him, that dog's a liar. You can take him any day of the week. Well, the panther doesn't like the sound of that, so he tells that squirrel, you hop on down on my shoulders and let's go teach that dog a lesson. So what do you happen to see? Well, that panther and that squirrel hops down on that panther's shoulders. Well, that's quite a sight to see. You ever seen that before? Well, that dog hadn't, but he was up and paying attention. So he saw that panther and that squirrel sneaking up on him. But that old dog still got himself quite a problem. He still can't outrun him, and he still can't outfight him. So what does he do? He keeps gnawing on those bones. And he's gnawing on those bones and gnawing on them. And that panther and squirrel are sneaking up on him and sneaking up on him. And that panther crouches and gets ready to jump. But before he does, before that panther can all jump, that dog sits up and goes, where is that squirrel? I sent him an hour ago to bring me a new panther. Well, the panther don't like the sound of that, so you can imagine what happened to that squirrel. So here's kind of the moral of the lesson. You must know who you are dealing with, right? The dog, he's one that knows what's going on. There's the panther, who's influenced by whatever he hears. And then there's the squirrel, who is just trying to stir up trouble. You have to realize who you're dealing with, who you're talking to, and what are their motives when dealing with people. Hope you enjoyed today's lesson of Rhino Productions.